Last year in Portugal, car theft rose 106%, pickpocketing increased 12%, and almost nobody writing about retiring in Portugal is telling you this. Because the headline is that Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world, and that headline is true. But there is a difference between a safe country and being prepared to live in one. And that difference cost Maria and Tom something in their first week in Lisbon. They had done everything right. 2 years of research, they sold their home in Phoenix, moved to Lisbon in October. In their first week, someone smashed the window of their rental car and took their bags. Maria called her daughter back in Phoenix. She said Portugal is not safe. They made a mistake. Portugal recorded 89 homicides in all of 2024. For 10 million people, the U.S. State Department gives Portugal its lowest possible risk rating. The Global Peace Index ranks it 7th safest in the world. Maria and Tom were not in an unsafe country. They were unprepared for the specific risks that exist in specific places. Safety and preparedness are not the same thing. Here is what the official data actually shows, and what you need to know before you arrive. Short answer first. Portugal is genuinely one of the safest countries in the world. 3 independent sources confirm it, and we verified each one directly. Portugal's official annual internal security report, the RASI, is the primary document, produced by Portugal's security system, approved by Parliament, March 31, 2026. It covers all of 2024. The U.S. State Department gives Portugal Level 1, exercise normal precautions, the same rating as the UK, Germany, Australia, and Japan. And the Global Peace Index scores Portugal's violent crime at 1.0 out of 5. The lowest possible score, most peaceful rating available. 3 sources, 3 methodologies, 1 conclusion. Now here's the part of the data most retire abroad channels skip entirely. And before we get there, if you're watching this and you have already chosen a city in Portugal, stay with me, because in about 2 minutes we are going to look at where you are planning to live. Changes this picture significantly. The regional breakdown surprised me when I checked the RASI numbers. General crime in Portugal fell 4.6% in 2024, 354,878 total reports. Back to pre-pandemic levels, violent crime up only 2.6%, smallest rise in a decade, 89 homicides for 10 million people. For perspective, Portugal's homicide rate is roughly 0.9 per 100,000 people. The US rate is approximately 6 per 100,000. Portugal is in the same range as the safest countries in the world, and the data confirms it. 83% of people in Portugal feel safe walking alone at night, one of the highest rates in Europe. That is the baseline. Genuinely safe. Now the honest picture, the 2 categories that went up, and why they matter specifically to retirees. And pickpocketing increased 12% in 2024. This is the crime with the largest year-on-year increase according to the RASI, and it is concentrated in exactly the places you will spend time in your first months. Tram 28 in Lisbon, Alfama, Barro Alto on weekend nights, the markets, public transport. These are not dangerous places. They are crowded tourist areas. Pickpockets work in crowds. Simple preparation, front pocket or crossbody bag with a zipper. Minimal cash, awareness in crowded spaces. That is all Maria and Tom needed. They did not know that before they arrived. Vehicle theft increased 106.3%. That number is striking, and it is real. If you plan to own a car in Portugal, covered parking matters. Nothing visible left in the car. This applies primarily in Lisbon and Porto. Smaller towns and rural areas tell a very different story, which brings us to the regional picture. Here's what I found when I looked at the regional data. And this changes the picture depending on where you are planning to live. Lisbon. Overall crime fell 7.6% in 2024. Significant improvement. But Lisbon also concentrates the tourist area crime in specific neighborhoods. The historic center, Alfama, Bairro Alto, Baixa, is where most of the pickpocketing and vehicle crime occurs. The residential neighborhoods further from the tourist zones have a completely different profile. Porto, crime fell 0.9%. Marginal improvement, similar pattern. Ribeira waterfront and the historic center require the same awareness as Lisbon's tourist zones. Residential suburbs significantly lower. Smaller cities and the Algarve coast. The crime picture here is consistently better than Lisbon and Porto. Lower density means lower crime density. Many retirees who choose the Silver Coast, the Algarve, or towns like Braga, Coimbra, or Évora report feeling safer than they did in their home cities in the United States. Pickpocketing in smaller towns is not a significant concern. Vehicle theft is lower. Quick question. What city or region in Portugal are you considering? Lisbon? Porto? The Algarve? A smaller town? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone, and it helps me understand where to go deeper. If you like research backed by actual government documents instead of relocation marketing, subscribe. That is exactly what this channel is built around. Back to Maria and Tom. After the car break-in, they nearly came home. They stayed, they talked to other expats, they made 5 simple adjustments. Covered parking when available, nothing left visible in the car. Maria switched to a crossbody bag with a zipper. Tom stopped carrying his passport and used a photocopy instead. They stopped having their phones out walking through Alfama. 6 months later, Maria told her daughter she felt safer in Lisbon than she ever had in Phoenix. She meant it. 5 things to know before you arrive. 1. Pickpocketing is concentrated in tourist areas, public transport, and crowded markets. Know where it happens. Take simple precautions there. 2. Vehicle theft is rising. Covered parking. Nothing visible. Standard practice for Lisbon and Porto residents. 3. Your phone is a target in busy areas. Front pocket or closed bag. 4. Emergency number is 112. Free 24 hours. Police, fire, medical. Save it before you land. 5. The vast majority of Portugal is exactly as safe as the data says. These precautions apply primarily to tourist zones in the 2 main cities. The rest of the country requires no more preparation than any other developed European destination. The verdict. Overall crime fell 4.6% in 2024. 89 homicides for 10 million people. Level 1 from the State Department. 7th on the Global Peace Index. 83% of residents feel safe at night. Portugal is safe. That is not a sales pitch. That is what 3 independent primary sources say. What requires your attention? Pickpocketing in tourist areas, vehicle security in Lisbon and Porto, awareness in crowded spaces, simple preparation. None of it should change your decision. All of it will make your first months easier. Maria and Tom are on their 2nd year in Lisbon. Last month, Maria told her daughter she wants to stay permanently. Safety and preparedness are not the same thing. Now you know both. All sources are in the description. The RASI direct from Portugal's security system, the State Department advisory, the Global Peace Index. Go check them yourself. Next episode, 8 episodes in. Visas, healthcare, taxes, safety. We are going to pull everything together and give you the honest verdict on Portugal as a retirement destination. Is it right for you? Based on everything we have verified, we are going to answer that directly. Subscribe so you do not miss it. This is Next Chapter Abroad, your retirement, your world. We will see you next time.